In the last video, we have studied about the geomorphic processes in the way of flowchart. But today we are going to study the geomorphic processes in the way of theory, in the form of notes. Introduction, if we say geomorphic processes are actually the natural forces of the earth that builds up the landforms on the surface of the earth. And it is of two types, endogenic and exogenic. Endogenic forces that are that are coming from deep inside the earth, and the exogenic forces that acts on the surface of the earth like erosion, weathering by the physical, chemical or biological effect. And endogenic, like the volcanoes, we can see the earthquake, we can see the folding, we can see the faulting, that are the endogenic. Horizontal endogenic forces is also of two type, horizontal and the vertical movement. Horizontal are the mountain building known as orogenic movement, and the vertical movement are the continent building known as the epirogenic. This is also creates the submergence or the emergence of the land. For example, if we see the Indira Point that is in Kanyakumari, in Kanyakumari, that has been submerged due to the Indian Ocean tsunami in the year 2020, 2004. Sorry, it is in the year 2004. The main work of the geomorphic processes is to build up the landforms on the surface of the earth, because who are creating, have you ever imagined that who are creating the landforms, who have created the Himalayas? Is there is some person who is creating the plateaus uh, or the mountains or the valleys or the rivers? No, these are the actually the nature is creating itself by their energy or the forces, right? Because that this is a rule of the nature, this is a law of the nature. Something gets created, on the other hand it's also get destroyed. This is the nature, this is a nature's play, this is a nature play. Some things get created, some things get destroyed. And endogenic forces are the result of the thermal conditions of the interior of the earth. For example, if we take the example of volcanic eruptions, volcanic eruptions occur suddenly, but the ongoing process under the surface of the earth, it means at the interior of the earth, the thermal conditions, the heat and pressure is still going on. And we all know that rocks are the bad conductors of the heat, right? So when the rocks cannot transmit those heat and pressure, suddenly the blast takes place, and the magma comes out and the lava gets deposited on the surface, or on the land, that is the volcanic eruption. And earthquake are the forces, are the tensional forces, or are the forces that acts on the that acts from interior of the earth and affects on the surface by creating huge damage. Certain forces and movement, catastrophism. For example, if we take the example of earthquake and volcano, it erupts suddenly, right? But the processes is going deep inside the earth from very very long ago. We cannot see that, but the eruptions takes suddenly, or the earthquakes happen suddenly. We can see the damage on the surface very suddenly by the earthquake. It also affects the densely populated localities, like harming the peoples, the victims, as well as, if we take the example of the Deccan Plateau in the peninsular India, it has been created due to the volcanic eruptions. It is a lava. It is the land is created. The peninsular part of India is created by the deposition of the lava. Another example, we can also see the Columbian Plateau of USA. Here, the Columbian Plateau of USA also has been created due to the lava, and the earthquakes also create some of the from earthquake faults, lakes, and fractures are created. For example, Kaikoura fault scrubs in New Zealand, the Hebgen Lake fault scrub in Montana, USA, the East African Rift Valley that has been created due to the faulting. Then some of the beaches has been raised, means emergence of the coastal land. Then Atabad Lake in Pakistan that has been created in 2010 with the massive earthquake. If we talk about the dystrophic forces and movement, dystrophic forces are actually the diastrophic forces are actually the forces that creates the folding or faulting of the rock structure. Folding means, for example, the Himalaya has been created due to the folding of the mountains, due to folds. Himalaya is a fold mountain. It's a young fold mountain, and Aravalli is the old fold mountain that has been created due to the folding of the mountain. Folding of the mountain means when two of the plates, this is a plate 1 and this is a plate 2, means the crust of the earth, the two crust of the earth collide to each other. That is the folding. And faulting means when two of the rocks, means the crust, sorry, rocks, when the two of the crust move apart, this this is in this way and that is in this way, moving and creating a crack, that is a faulting. It is of two types, orogenic and epirogenic. The word, if we talk about the epirogenic, the word epirogenic has been derived from the Greek word epiro, which means the continent, and genesis means its origin or the building. It can be upliftment or the subsidence of the continents, and it is of two types as well, upward movement and downward movement. Upward movement means upliftment and downward movement means subsidence. For example, if we take the example of the Scandinavian coastal land or the Scandinavian island, this has been created due to the upliftment, due to the collision of the Indian and the Eurasian plate. Plate means the crust. I'm talking about the crust, Earth's crust. We will know about the plate and plate tectonics on the other video. Then the upliftment of the Hudson Bay, that is in Canada. Then downward movement means the subsidence of the land. For example, Indira Point of the Kanyakumari. Orogenetic movement that builds up the mountain. Orogenetic word has been derived from the Greek word oro, means mountain, and genetic means genesis, which means the building or the origin. It is also of two types, tangential force or the compressional force. Tangential force which act towards each other, tensional force which go in opposite direction and causes cracks and faults. And this is also known as divergent, and tangential force is known as compressional force.